Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
You guys know how you can get a hold of me, right? Email me, chris@pirillo.com, just like Brian did. I'm going to read his email to you. It says, "Hey Chris, it's Brian." Remember I said it's Brian's email. AKA Rec. I idle in your chat room at live.pirillo.com and just read conversations when I'm not doing anything else. And I came across your videos on YouTube. I found them very interesting and deep with knowledge. I think he's thinking of somebody else, but that's okay. We'll pretend that my videos are helpful and full of knowledge. I'm also wondering if you know of a few other tech sites with a ton of information. I already visit tomshardware.com often, but I haven't really found anything else that's much in depth. I'm looking for more information on hardware and how it actually works, since my career seems to be heading that way. I can't really handle all the math and physics required for computer science, and I don't really want to get out of the computer industry. If you do know of any online resources for self-teaching, some basic programming, I'll happily accept that too. Oh yeah, the main reason I'm asking for resources is because the courses that my school offers get canceled due to low enrollment, and I kind of seem to mess up big time in the computer engineering course, so I'm hoping to get my mind filled before I'm off to college. I can't take computer engineering this year since I need a few other credits to even graduate. Also, since I'm on this topic, do you know of any good jobs that may interest me? Looking for something more hands-on. Maybe something like just building or repairing computers for companies, or maybe getting into networking. Anyways, thanks for reading my email, if you do, and please reply. Well, I did read your email. I read everybody's email. My email address again is chris@pirillo.com. We are streaming at live.pirillo.com. Now, as far as job and education advice is concerned, I'm probably the wrong person to ask. You got to remember, when I was in high school, you went to the counselor's office one afternoon, you answered a few questions, and they would print out this sheet on a dot matrix printer, tear it off, hand it to you, and you'd read all the jobs that you were most likely to appreciate in terms of a career choice. And it was kind of funny. No matter what you answered, librarian would always be number one. It just didn't matter. It was kind of, I think someone hacked the system. Either that or, librarians are apparently a position that anybody could be happy with. Maybe they could be. I'm not a librarian. I ended up going to college and getting a degree in English education after changing my mind a couple of times. And then, of course, after that, pursued a career on my own, defining my own career as an entrepreneur, producing content both offline and online. I've got a series of conferences. I've got my own website, my blog, chris.pirillo.com. I've got lockergnome.com, which is where people come to blog and make money. So maybe if you want to write, and you can write, if you can write, and write well, and write often, you can build an audience and make money. There are some people who are blogging on LockerGnome who have hundreds of RSS subscribers that they otherwise could not get. That's the position that I've been able to give them, having this domain and having a certain structure for them. So I really don't know where to tell you to go, other than if you're looking for information, the internet's there. Ultimately, you're going to define your own career path, and I think education is changing in this capacity. I've talked to several friends, college graduates, and we all say similar things to each other, understanding we're in the same field in this area of technology, which is so broad and varied. We all say that going to college, it helped us, but not necessarily in a classroom capacity. It's everything that we learned outside the classroom, or the resources that were given outside the classroom rather than inside the classroom. I'm very proud of my degree. It's just an expensive piece of paper to me. More than anything, it proves that I've had enough self-discipline to see a degree through, and of course also shows that I'm crazy enough to rack up debt in order to get that degree. But it's nowhere near technology. I mean, on paper, it's teaching people about nouns and verbs. Being an English teacher. I defined my career. You are your own person. I couldn't give you job advice. All I can tell you is follow your own heart. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. You can pick up a computer repair course either by mail or, just from practical experience, walk into a shop. This is a great time of year at the time of the recording of this video. During the holiday season, people are always looking for jobs. In fact, I worked at Best Buy for about a month's time in my college days because I needed some extra money, and I enjoyed talking about technology. I wish you were my English teacher. Oh, Zedlos, don't say that. I would be horrible at it because I'd never. In fact, the funny thing is, you bring up the story, but it's true. I'm trying to prove a point here. When I was student teaching in San Antonio, Texas, I was. This was like years ago, back in like 1995. Windows 95 had just been released, and I would take headlines that CNN would email every morning, like early morning. Of things that would happen. And it was this email blast was designed so that teachers could incorporate current events in their classroom environment. So I would take a paragraph of the current events, copy and paste it into a Microsoft Word document, change a few words around, take it to the media room, print off a transparency so that I could put it on an overhead projector, and then in each class, because we had some kind of block scheduling, I would take a marker and say, okay, what's wrong with this paragraph? And we'd go through and we'd mark off the things that were incorrect in the structure. And one day, I can't remember what we were doing. I was talking about something about the internet, and I stopped. I said, you know what? I shouldn't be doing this. I should be teaching computers. I should be teaching technology. And the kids in the classroom, 7th graders, they said, well, duh. How come I was the last to know? But I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life. I was there. I mean, I was ready to start my career in teaching English, and just finally just woke up and realized I need to be doing something else. And so I started doing that. It wasn't necessarily by education. It was my own education. It's not through one website or another. Websites aren't going to give you anything. They may give you guidance, but ultimately you're going to find your own path by your own discovery mechanisms. So yeah, take odd jobs, take small jobs, and whichever one trips your trigger the most, pursue it. And if that job that you want doesn't exist, create that job out of nothing. You could start your own computer repair business. Is it easy? No, it's not. But you could do it. Just find what you love. If you want to get started with programming, as you were saying, basic programming, a couple people have recommended structures in programming languages specifically developed for kids. One of them is Squeak. If you go to squeak.org, that's SQUEAK.org. It's a programming environment. In fact, it's a whole infrastructure that it's open source, and you can understand how the hardware interacts with the software. It's designed for, and I know of a couple of people who are using this with their kids. That may sound crazy to you. Well, I don't want to learn a kid's programming language. It's a great way to start. It's baby steps. And let's say you want to something a little more powerful, although possibly more overwhelming. They just released Visual Studio Express, which is free. Microsoft has this set of tools that anybody can download and use. To kind of learn the nuances of software. Try Fortran. Pretty easy, but not widely used. True enough. It's an older language, certainly. Another thing you might look into, if you have OS X, is Automator. It's a great logic builder, and programming is logic. You have to create structures and possibilities and contingencies, and using these tools that are at your disposal, you'll be able to hone your craft and practice over and over again. Programming may be up your alley, it may not be. Playing with hardware may be up your alley, it may not be. Creating content may be up your alley, and it may not be. You've got so many opportunities, but asking me for advice, I'm very grateful for it, and I appreciate it, but I'm just going to turn you back on yourself and say, it's in you. And I don't know what's in you. Only you know what's in you. And just keep trying. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. And the bottom line is just do it. I've said this before about anything. The hardest thing that people can do is take that first step. Because they'll talk about taking that first step, but they'll never actually take it. And if you never actually take that first step, you'll never know. I used to work, as a kid, I worked as I don't know what you would call it. It was in an amusement park in Des Moines, Iowa called Adventureland. And I worked as a games attendant. So you'd play like a little game, and sometimes I'd get on the mic and say, hey, come play the game. It wasn't like a carnival barker or anything, but I always say, you can't win if you don't play, and you can't play if you keep walking on by. And it's pretty true. It's the same thing with your career choice. And understand you may change your path several times. It's discovery. Just give it a shot. I can do my best to help you with the resources that I have, but I'm going to say, man, open your mind, try new things. Every day, learn something new. The onus is on you. Only you can make things happen for yourself. Anyway, that's the best advice I can give. I realize it may not be much, but I hope it is for somebody. Enough inspiration to just try something new. You can email me if you have any other advice for me to pass along, or maybe advice of your own. Chris@Pirillo.com is my email address. You're also welcome to pass this video along if you think it was useful. Post it to your blog, your MySpace page, Facebook account, whatever. Share the love. And you're also welcome to swing by the chat room. You can hang out there and read conversations in the background, or participate actively, ask questions, discuss things that we might be discussing, bring up a new topic, answer questions. We're typically talking tech 24 hours a day at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.